Black Donkey Brewing Company, we're a small microbrewery here in Ballinlough in Roscommon. We started in 2014. We had been planning the business since probably 2012. My wife and I had been living in the States for 20 years, give or take. We met over there, got married there. She's from Castle Regis down the road from the brewery here. So one day she announced that she wanted to go home, and being a loyal husband, I decided I probably better go with her. And so we settled in Ballinlough, which was kind of her home. My home is actually Drogheda there on the East Coast. But she didn't want to settle in Drogheda. She wanted to settle back close to her parents and siblings and whatnot. So we came back in the end of 2012, and I had hatched this idea during the latter months in New York that if I was going back to Ireland, and I'd been gone from Ireland since 1987, that if I was going back to Ireland, I was going to miss the variety of beer that I could get. I could just walk into practically any bar in New York City and have a choice of maybe anything from 12 to 50 different beers. And I knew I wasn't going to get that here. So as a keen home brewer and a sort of a beer, I suppose a bit of a beer nerd, I decided that if I was going to expect that quality and variety of beer that I had in New York, that I'd have to do it myself. And I think when we came back, there was about 12 breweries in the country. Microbreweries, that is, not including the couple of macros that are here. And I kind of thought to myself, you know, something's missing. I couldn't understand why the craft beer revolution that I had witnessed in the States, that I knew happened in Canada, that was happening in the UK and various other countries, had completely passed Ireland by. So anyway, we came back and we set about trying to fundraise and find a premises and find equipment and one thing and another. And we decided that we were going to brew the beers that we enjoyed drinking in the States. We weren't going to brew a stout and a red ale and something, a lager or something masquerading as a lager. Initially anyway, we were going to brew a Saison, which we did, Sheep Stealer. That's the first beer we released. We actually released it almost exactly 2 years ago in the Salthouse pub in Galway in August of 2014. Well, our brewing process, it really is a very simple process. You can get massive levels of automation and mechanization in modern breweries, but I kind of say, and it's only half joking, that if a brewer from 150 years ago walked into our brewery and set to work, the only thing that might confuse him is the electric pump. This is us. We're adding the crushed barley. This is Irish barley, and it's going into the mash tun, into the hot water, or hot liquor as we call it in the brewing industry. And in this vessel here, the sugars will be extracted from the barley, and then the enzymes in the barley itself will convert those sugars into maltose, and that maltose is what the yeast will ultimately ferment and turn it into alcohol and carbon dioxide and other wonderful flavor compounds.